to become more accurate in your writing, you should always edit your own work before you hand it in to your teacher. So today I'd like to take you through this process of how you edit your own work and pick out mistakes that are quite common. This lesson, this piece of writing is a reflection on some Greek and Latin vocabulary we looked at. A lot of words in English come from Greek and Latin, and this was a reading lesson, and I asked the students to write a reflection on whether they thought this was useful and interesting. So this student writes, learning Greek and Latin vocab, interesting lesson, it's increase our knowledge. I would suggest you look at one sentence at a time and then cut it into phrases and look at parts at a time. So, learning Greek and Latin vocab, that's in itself fine, but if you write academic English, don't use these kinds of symbols. Just write the full words. So learning Greek and Latin vocab, and then interesting lesson. There's a verb missing here. So was, and then interesting lesson is okay, but since lesson is a is a countable noun in the singular, you must have in front of it. Yeah. So was and then the next word starts with an I, so it must be an interesting lesson. So you can see that blue line under here that tells you that it's incorrect. So an interesting lesson. Its increase is a typical Arabic error. It's not its increase, but it, because learning Greek and Latin is it. So, and then because it is it, this should have an S on it. It increases our knowledge. Okay, there's a little punctuation thing here. Before a full stop, you don't have any space. So delete that. You have the word, full stop straight away, or comma, or whatever punctuation, and then after the full stop there's a space. So now we have a perfect sentence. On the other hand, there's the collocation is on the other hand. We can't change this, so it's on the other hand. On the one hand, on the other hand, and then you need a comma. It's quite complicated. Here it's is the possessive pronoun. She actually means it's, like this, which is short for it is. And because it is more academic writing, don't use contractions like this. Write the full words. It is quite complicated. Again, there's a space, no space there, but a space after the full stop. And then, of course, there's a green line there because, yeah, it needs a capital, of course. Some words I'm familiar with, for example, I'll put a comma here too. For example, tripod. That's good. Now, okay, I would also make that full word. I am familiar with, for example, tripod. For retain the vocab. No. If you're talking about a purpose, why you do something, you start with to. It's to retain the vocab. I have used to read the word. Oh, there's a few expressions that are being mixed up together. Either it's I used to read the word, So something she did in the past and no longer does, so that you certainly don't need. Let's have a look. So let's get rid of that at least. So I used to read the word and repeat it many times. But if she says, I used to read the word, that means she doesn't do it anymore. Because this means you do it in the past. You did it in the past and not anymore. So I think we can just get rid of it. She probably just means I read the word and repeat it many times. Because she still does that. Simple present. It's a habit. Looking for the meaning of this word and link it with sentence. So here she starts a new sentence with a capital, but after a comma. So that should be a full stop. Looking for the meaning of this word and link it. Oh no, I'm making a mistake here. I realize now that's not a sentence, so it's a comma, and then I think she links this together. Looking, so I read the word and repeated many times, looking for the meaning of this word and linking it with, so it's looking for and linking, a parallel structure here, with sentence. It's with sentences or with a sentence, because that's a countable noun again. Let's move on. After that, I'm spelling it on the paper. After that, comma. Now we're still talking about, let's go back a little bit. She says here, I read the word, I repeat. And then all of a sudden it's, I'm spelling. I don't know why. It's still something she does all the time. It's a habit. So I spell it on the paper. I'm sure that if this writer, if this student had checked her own work carefully, she would have noticed this in and on next to it, and she knows that's not possible. Is it on paper or in paper? No, it's on paper. On the paper, many times. On the paper, yeah, on paper. Actually, you don't need the, it's on paper, many times. Furthermore, that's one word, and actually usually spelled with a U. And again, it's a linking word like after that and furthermore, so it's followed by comma. I used to say it on conversation. Okay, I'm not sure why she used to. Again, she's talking about doing this all the time. So let's just stick to the simple present. I say it on conversation. It's in conversation. For the SMART goals, I asked my students to write some goals for the semester. For the SMART goals, honestly, I didn't work it. Why on earth are these things here? No idea. Okay, so for the SMART goal, there was more than one. SMART goals, comma, and then space, and then we'll delete the H, the capital H, yeah. Honestly, I didn't, get rid of this thing. I didn't worked with it since 2 weeks before the holidays. Okay. That's fine, of course. I didn't worked. If you use a past tense, did is past followed by the infinitive. Yeah, I didn't work with it since there were more than one goal. It's not it. It is for one, and the plural is them. I worked with them since 2 weeks before the holidays. Okay. because, another capital in the middle of a sentence, because of the issue I couldn't read any book or story. Okay, so she's starting a new sentence here actually, so put a full stop there. Because of the issue I couldn't, I'm not sure what issue this is, but I couldn't read any books or story. This is a strange combination here. This is in the plural and this is in the singular. It's kind of strange. So if that goes in the plural, which is fine, any books, or put that in the plural as well. IES, no space. Moreover, another linking word. She's using good linking words, but you need to follow them by commas. We have a lot of works to do. Okay. A lot of works. Work is always uncountable. In Arabic it can be countable, in English not. So it's always a lot of work to do. I can't go to the SSC. Okay, so this is at the moment. You can't go to this is a Student Success Center. Okay, and finally, I will start working next week. And this is a beautiful finishing sentence. So, as you can see, and I'm sure that student would have seen too, if you go through your work carefully, one sentence at a time, and then cut the sentence into phrases and collocations, you'll pick out a lot of mistakes yourself. And this is what you need to do until you don't make those mistakes anymore. So this is how you edit your own writing.